the unbelievable has happened. Hello my loves, and thank you for joining me. It's Kirsten and we are of course doing the August TBR. I have quite a few books that I already want to get onto this, so I think I might mention those at the end actually and just see if we can get any of those books onto these particular prompts. I do also have my own 24-hour readathon that I'm taking part in, two of which are not going to be on this TBR because I want to keep them separate just for that video, and that is Phantom of the Opera and The Tale of Genji. If you're interested in what I'm actually doing with that 24-hour readathon, then I will have it linked below. The announcement for that went up last week. No, this week. Earlier this week, a few days beforehand, Wednesday. Regardless, I'll have it linked below if you're interested. There has been one more change to my TBR game. So the usual is I roll a 6-coloured sided dice. I do this a minimum of 5 times. If the same colour comes up twice, then I will do a re-roll, and normally I was doing maybe 2 re-rolls at max, or 3. Last month I got really carried away and I did a minimum of 6 rolls with 3 re-rolls, so we had 9 books to fill. Am I feeling that confident again considering I've got the readathon? Not really, no. So I think we'll do a minimum of 5 with 3 re-rolls, so we can have anywhere between 5 and 8 books that I have to read this month. But what I was actually going to say, the main change is normally the colour of that dice would relate to a dice sitting on top of a prompt, and I've changed the dice. I've swapped it out for little figures. So I've painted the bottom of the figure to correlate with a side of the dice. Unfortunately, this only came in a pack of 5. I still need to paint the actual cats and things, but I really wanted to use them. So for yellow, we have a rather messy little dwarf. The paint keeps peeling off this one because I use a different type of paint and it's not staying on. So I do need to actually replace that at some point. I just thought it would be nice to actually stop using more dice and just have little figures. Anyway, that's enough. We know how this works. I have a whole playlist of my TBR game if you're interested. Oh wait, what am I doing? We need to choose the 6th prompt. Let's go. Let's choose a prompt. Let's go with this one. Oldest book on my TBR. I never know if I'm going to enjoy that one or not. Anyway, let's go to roll number 1. The first roll. Oh, blue. Under 250 pages. Okay, so the first prompt is under 250 pages, so we're starting off really nice. And because I am actually trying to do a translated fiction month, not all of the books on this TBR are going to be translated fiction, but I am trying to prioritise it. I am going with Ovid's The Fall of Icarus, which is obviously translated from Greek. This is something that I've been really intrigued about. I want to get Ovid's collection of the Metamorphoses. In general, Greek mythology is something that I adore. I read the Iliad by Homer and I've just been wanting to pick up more. So I think this is a great way to start, plus these little penguin black classics are just so cute, and it really is only a short story. It is literally 50 pages. That's it. A great way to start this month. Okay, let's go again. A bright cover. Let's get to roll number 2. Roll number 2. Orange. The one I didn't want. YA fantasy. The second roll was a prompt that I really didn't want, which is YA fantasy, young adult fantasy, and it's just not something I'm as interested anymore. However, I do have one on my shelf, and that is Lair of Dreams by Libba Bray. This is the second book in the Diviner series. It's chunky, but it's also a very dark, atmospheric setting, which I really enjoyed. So we're in 1920s, I think we're in New York for this one, but in the first one we were following our main character Evie, and she is someone that her parents have just had enough with. She's always acting out, so she gets sent to be with her uncle, who is actually rather eccentric. Turns out that Evie has these powers of divination, and she ends up getting caught up in a series of ritualistic murders that take place. It was really good and I really enjoyed it. I had wanted to read this more in October time, but seeing as the prompt for YA fantasy came up and this is the only one that is the slightest bit of interest to me, this is the one we're going to go with. I'm worried because the page count is 560 pages, but the writing From what I remember, it was a really easy, fast-paced read, and I am looking forward to going back into that 1920s setting just with the dark, atmospheric, occult vibes. So fingers crossed, it does work out really well. Another prompt: read the first in a series. I haven't been reading many series lately. I know that one is a continuation, but a lot of the books I've been reading are standalones at the minute, which is definitely what I'm preferring. We'll see, we'll see. Roll number 3. Purple. Foil on the cover. Okay, the next prompt is foil on the cover, and I knew exactly what I wanted for this one. And that is my buddy read for the month with Ellie from Bibbidi Bobbidi Books, who I have linked below. We are buddy reading Nettle and Bone by T. Kingfisher. Now, technically there's no foiling on this bit. However, under the dust jacket, this is foiled. Beautiful, lovely, and it works for the prompt. Did I stretch it a bit? Yes, but I really wanted to get this on my TBR for the month because this is my first buddy read in a while and I am really looking forward to it. This is, I think, an adult fantasy. That's where I got it from in the bookshop. I think it might be that bridge between like adult and YA fantasy, but I didn't want to put it for YA fantasy just in case. Regardless, this is a fantasy book and I'm really intrigued. There is, as I've been saying every single time I speak about this book, a demon-possessed chicken, and that is why I want to read it, because I want to read about this chicken. Ellie is far more intrigued as to what's actually going on plot-wise with this, but I'm just hoping for a really cozy, easy, light-hearted fantasy, although it's not technically light-hearted because the plot of this is not light-hearted, because I believe we have a sister that's trying to rescue the other sister from a really abusive marriage. So not light-hearted, but I'm hoping it will just be a cozy, fun read, especially because there is a demon-possessed chicken involved. I just want to know what's going on with the chicken, and I've said it every single time, but it's so true. So yeah, I'm really, really pleased that that fitted on there. Okay, so we have to put it back up to 6. Okay, let's go with this one. An animal on the cover. We're having a lot of cover prompts come up. Anyway, roll number 4, the danger zone. Roll number 4. Green. Sci-fi. Still no doubles, which makes me concerned for the next roll, but we did have sci-fi, and that does not fit with my translated fiction month at all. Hasn't been going that well for translated fiction month. But I have chosen Chillin' Effect by Valerie Valdez, and this is a sci-fi that I've had on my TBR for a little while now. Just seems like a really fun time. We have psychic cats, which is the main reason why I got this. In all honesty, I really don't know too much about it. I know it's to do with our main character who's got to try and do this mission, but there are psychic cats involved. I'm not sure, but I was intrigued. It says psychic cats, like what else do I need to know? I really want to like this and hope that I like it. So far, the only sci-fi I like is young adult sci-fi, which is weird because I'm not a fan of young adult fantasy, but it seems to work for young adult sci-fi. But adult sci-fi, not so much. So fingers crossed it's going to work and I'm going to enjoy that one. This is one I've not seen many people talking about, so if you have read it and enjoyed it, or just your thoughts on it in general, please do let me know. I am highly intrigued. Right, will this be the last time we're choosing a prompt? Is my game going to be this nice to me? I will be shocked. I will be so shocked. Okay, let's go with this one. Thrifted. Thrifted finds are always the best. Roll number 5. Potentially last roll. Pink. Oh my gosh, it's the last roll. What? Okay. That's never happened. Anyway, okay, calm. A classic. The impossible happened? Like, we didn't have a single reroll this month. What? Like, what? Okay, well, I'm gonna take it. I definitely did do 5, didn't I? Yeah, I did 5. Wow, this has never happened, but this 5th and final prompt is classic, and this time I am going for a translated work, and that is Victor Hugo's Notre Dame de Paris. I am very excited for this one. I think I say that word a lot. We need to come up with more words, but this is one that I have been fascinated about for quite a while, especially because I do love the Disney version of The Hunchback of Notre Dame. Now, I know that this is nothing like that. I know it's a lot darker, but it's still one I really, really want to read. Considering the fact that I am trying to do more of a translated fiction month, although the prompts didn't work out that well for that, but that is what my 24-hour readathon is about. Again, announcement video will be linked below. And I did mention in there that this is one of the books I would love to read, but that realistically speaking, I'm not going to get it read alongside all the other books I want to read for the month. So I'm really pleased this one came up in this month, so I can add that with confidence to this really small TBR. Oh my gosh, and you guys didn't even get to choose a book. Oh, you know what? Let me get 2 books that I want to read for Translated Fiction Month, and you guys can tell me which one of those I definitely have to read on top of this. Hang on. So 2 more books that I wanted to read for this month that are translated works is Solo Dance by Lee Kotomi, and this is translated from Japanese. This is more of a contemporary fiction about a woman that has moved to Tokyo but feels kind of cut off because of the fact that she's gay, she's struggling to fit in, and she also has a fascination about death. Or Lonely Castle in the Mirror by Mizusuki Tsushimura, and this is again translated from Japanese, but this is more, I'm not sure whether it would class as middle grade or adult. I always see it in the adult fantasy, well, fiction part, so I'm not sure on the age range for this, but this is about a girl who feels incredibly lonely until one day she realizes there is a castle in her mirror, and she goes through the mirror to this castle and meets lots of people just like her. Both of these I really want to read this month, so please let me know in the comments below which one I should prioritize reading, and I will make sure I definitely get this one read on top of the books from this TBR game. So to recap, the TBR game was ridiculously nice to me. And we have a classic book, which I've gone with Notre Dame de Paris, which I'm, again, very intrigued about, fascinated, can't wait to actually read. Then we have a sci-fi, so we veer off the translated fiction completely for Chilling Effect, which I've not heard anyone talking about. Then we have my buddy read for the month, which is one I'm super excited for, and that's Nettle and Bone. The young adult fantasy, which is A Lair of Dreams, and then a teeny tiny book under 250 pages, The Fall of Icarus, and that does go back to translated fiction, so that's quite good. And I think paired with one of the books that you guys choose, we do have 3 books that are translated and then 3 that aren't this month, plus the 2 books from my 24-hour readathon. So we do actually have 8 books to get through this month, 2 being a specific day of the month, but I do think this is possible. So that's the stack. I actually think it worked out really well that my TBR game was nice to me because I am doing this readathon. I think that was needed. It was needed. So thank you, TBR game. And yeah, please don't forget to vote on a book that you would like me to read this month. But there we have it. This was incredibly short. Like, these videos are normally quite quick, but this was even shorter than usual. Regardless, I think it's been a nice one. The fact that it has been so nice to me when I have had a month where I've struggled a little bit with my reading is needed. It's very much needed. But yes, please don't forget to vote on those 2 books. Let me know what translated book I should definitely be reading this month in addition to the TBR game. If you have made it this far, then let's put a bird emoji, because Solo Dance has an amazing cover with a beautiful bird on it. So put a bird emoji. And thank you so much for watching and for taking part, voting, all the usual stuff. Let me know what you're going to be reading this month, and if you're taking part in the readathon that I decided to put together. I know there's quite a few different readathons going on, so let me know of anything you're taking part in. But I think I will go. So thank you so much for watching. If you have enjoyed it, please do give it that thumbs up, subscribe, comment to let me know you were here, again voting on those books or putting a bird emoji. It really does help the channel out. Social media links will be linked below, and I will of course catch you in the next one.